Right. Let's go back to the very start of this whole adventure for me, where everything actually, truly begins. It all begins for me in 1996, a huge year for me. I was 17, a virgin, and I just moved out of home for the very first time. From Dubbo, a small town in country New South Wales. And I moved to the big smoke of Wagga Wagga in country New South Wales. Now, some of you may find this hard to believe, but I was a nerd. Yes. In primary school, I was a nerd for Star Wars. In junior high school, I was a nerd for Sherlock Holmes. This is me playing the great detective himself. Oh, look at that, eh? Butter wouldn't melt my mouth because it was too bored. Now, in my senior year of high school and my first year of uni, I was a drama nerd. This is me winning the Performing Arts Award at my high school 2 years in a row. Now, I know the one question on all your lips is, but I don't know what the fuck it is either, seriously. I got it and went, oh, thank you. Now, if those of you that don't know, a drama nerd doesn't just like acting. Oh, no. I wanted to be an actor. I was determined to be a serious, legitimate actor, despite the fact my only experience of acting was doing Christmas pantomimes with the local amateur theatrical society. Yeah, not a lot of room for method acting when you're orchestrating a group of people in a collective behind you. Thankfully, I've moved on from that. So, despite my lack of real experience, I was determined to be the best actor I could be. So much so that my first year of uni was kind of like grade 13 of high school. I never went out, okay? So while my other friends were out drinking, partying, and fornicating, I stayed at home, diligently writing in my drama journals, re-rehearsing my movement pieces, and studying up on Ibsen, Grotowski, and Bernard Shaw. Now, on my first day of uni, I met Al, and we instantly made a connection. He was a tall, thin, scrawny drama nerd like me, and we spent hours talking about our favorite books, movies, TV shows, and characters. I told him about Sherlock Holmes. He told me about Doctor Who. And I was fascinated. Now, everyone here, I'm sure, has something they love, something they're passionate about, something they may be even a little obsessed with. And we're used to people coming up to us all the time going, oh, why do you like that thing? And we have to give our stock standard short answer just so they go away. Oh, you don't know me, man. Okay, get out of my face. But there is one time in your life, if you're lucky, that someone will actually sit you down and say to you, tell me everything about what you know, about what you love. And I gave that gift to Al. Yeah. Yes, I know it was a cheap gift. It didn't cost me anything. I was a uni student. Fuck off. Now, I still remember the joy and excitement in Al's eyes as he sat me down and he said to me, it all began on the planet Gallifrey, in the constellation of Cerberus, and there were a race known as Time Lords. And at the end of that 5-hour talk, I knew everything about Doctor Who. I knew about the actors, the behind-the-scenes stuff. I knew about the canon. I knew everything, and I was hooked. I loved the fact that the Doctor was a loner, a misfit, someone good doing something good. But the best part of the Doctor is that the Doctor had freedom. The Doctor could go anywhere, do anything. And for me, a 17-year-old trapped in Wagga Wagga for 3 years, oh my God, this was inspiring. Now, 1996 wasn't just a big year for me, it was a massive year for Doctor Who. The telly movie starring Paul McGann came and went with a whimper. But the big news was a week before that came out, on May 20th, 1996, John Pertwee, the third actor to play Doctor Who, passed away. I remember that day very clearly. I was picked up by Al and he drove me out to uni and he turned to me and he said, Rob, John Pertwee's died. Now, At this point in my life, I'd only been a Doctor Who fan a couple of weeks. So I had all these facts running through my head. So I actually turned to Al and I actually said, "Who's Jon Pertwee?" I know. Oh, I was ashamed. I was embarrassed with myself. So what I did, that night I went down to the local video store and I borrowed out my first ever Jon Pertwee Doctor Who story. His first story, Spearhead from Space. And at the end of those 4 magnificent episodes, I found my doctor. Now, the third Doctor is my doctor because of his charm, his confidence, and his intelligence. 3 things I still wish I had. Now, Jon Pertwee became my favourite Doctor because he was a comedian trying to be taken seriously. That was me. I made a connection with someone who only died a couple of days ago. So Al and I became fully fledged Doctor Who nerds together, and it all came to a head in 1997 with our first main stage theatre production. Now at our acting school there was a bit of a tradition. On opening night at the after show party, all the cast would go dressed in their best formal wear. Now Al and I, we had a great idea. We thought that we'd go as our favourite doctors. Yep, I went as Jon Pertwee and Al went as Tom Baker. Now, in the history of good ideas, the invention of penicillin, the releasing of Nelson Mandela, Velcro, 2 scrawny white guys dressed in velvet in a country town wouldn't really make the top 10. But we would not be moved. Now, it just so happens on that very night, up at the Student Union Bar, my favourite band in the whole wide world were performing. That's right, Things of Stone and Wood. Oh, can I get any cooler?
Happy birthday.
Come on, get out your tambourines. Oh, hi.
Happy birthday, Helen.
Yeah, you're the only audience who actually fucking remember Things of Stone and Wood. I thought I'd had obscured you. My people, you are here. Now, this was the greatest night of my meagre life. I got to perform in a main stage production. I got changed in my Jon Pertwee costume. I raced up to the Student Union Bar. I saw Things of Stone and Wood perform for an hour. I met them afterwards. I got their autograph. They recognised I looked like Jon Pertwee. I made out with them. I made that part up. And they raced back down into the heart of Wagga to the most bogan bar in town. And that's where I met the cast. But that's where I met Hayley. Now, Hayley was in the year below me doing the theatre production course, and our courtship was very much still like we were in high school. We'd pass notes back and forth, we'd get friends to pass on messages. I didn't have a lot of experience. Who would have thought? So much so, on our 3rd date, I had Hayley alone in my apartment. We were sitting there doing those conversations that kind of, don't really go anywhere, and those nervous giggles that trail off into oblivion. And I just gummed up the courage and I walked up to Hayley and I went, "Hayley, hey, would you care to join me in watching some Doctor Who?" I didn't know, I was scared. So I chucked on Day of the Daleks, which is a Jon Pertwee story, which is kind of like Terminator with bad hair. So it's Terminator. But it actually worked out to be a good thing, because after about 5 minutes, Hayley was so mind-numbingly bored, we were making out! Hooray! So life was good. Look at that hair and look at that jawline. Life was very good, all right? I had a girlfriend, I had a best friend, and I had Doctor Who.